The Ford Mustang is one of the most iconic American muscle cars of all time. Launched in 1964, the Mustang's influence has extended far beyond its own brand. Its success has motivated other car manufacturers to create their own muscle cars, leading to the creation of models that rivaled Ford's legendary pony car. In April 1964, the Ford Mustang was introduced at the New York World Fair. It was labeled as the sporty vehicle within reach of the average customer, and it offered a new kind of driving experience that was previously reserved for high-end sports cars. It had a base price of about $2,300, and being named after the small, agile horse, the Mustang's design had undergone several transformations since its debut. But its success started in the 1960s, especially with the 1966 model. That year, Mustang reached its peak in terms of sales, being the best-selling version at the time with approximately 607,500 units sold. In 1969, the introduction of the Boss 302 marked a significant point in the Ford Mustang's performance lineage. Designed with the racing market in mind, the Boss 302 was created specifically for speed and handling. Just like the name implies, it had a 302 cubic inch V8 engine built to compete with the Trans Am racing series. However, the limited production run of the Boss 302, with just over 8,600 units produced between 1969 and 1970, and labeled it as one of the most sought-after models of its era. That same year, a more aggressive and larger design of the vehicle was introduced. Ford addressed the earlier design flaws by adding a more powerful engine options like the 429 cubic inch V8 in the Boss 429 model, along with aesthetic features like new headlamps, a more sculptured body, and functional side scoops. The Boss 429 was specifically designed to meet NASCAR regulations, which stated that at least 500 street versions of the car were to be sold to the public. With 375 horsepower in its stock form and a potential of up to 500 horsepower after modification, the Boss 429 quickly overtook its earlier model. Ford invested a lot into the Boss 429 model, making adjustments to its suspension and other components to handle the big engine. The battery was also relocated to the trunk to accommodate the bigger engine and enhance its racing capabilities. Throughout the 1970s, Mustang continued to evolve, but the transition from the late 1960s to the early 1970s came with controversy. The generation of Mustangs from 1971 to 1973 went through major rare designs. One of the most notable changes was an increase in weight and size. The Mustang was modified to have a larger size and width and length, giving it a more imposing road presence. However, because of its heavier build, the cars were not nimble and agile on the road. To address the constant change in preferences of American consumers, Ford incorporated more luxurious parameters into the 1971 to 1973 models. The interiors were more refined with improved materials, advanced technology, and plush seating. This aligned the Mustang with a broader trend of the 1970s, where consumers wanted comfort and luxury from vehicles instead of just pure muscle. The Shelby Mustang variants, like the GT500 and the GT350, were some of the most influential and exciting models in Mustang history. These models were created in partnership with the car designer Carroll Shelby. In 1965, the GT350 was first introduced with a high-performance 271 horsepower V8 engine. In addition of lightweight fiberglass body parts and functional scoops improved its aerodynamics, contributing to its racing success. In 1967, the more powerful GT500 took over with its 428-inch 7-liter V8 engine that had significantly more horsepower. Features like fiberglass hood, 5-spoke wheels, and side scoops gave the Shelby Mustangs their distinctive looks. As the variants evolved, so did their performance and styling. In 1970, the Shelby Mustangs incorporated more features like front air dams, blackout treatments, and enhanced suspension systems. When the Ford Mustang debuted in 1964, it set the stage for the pony car. Chevrolet and Dodge were among the first set of car companies to recognize Mustang's impact. leading them to develop their own versions of muscle cars. In 1966, Chevrolet introduced the Camaro with the goal of competing with the Mustang. Camaro quickly gained popularity and established itself as one of the main competitors during that time. Similarly, Pontiac created the Firebird, which also shared similarities with the Mustang, offering performance and style in a smaller, more affordable package. Similarly, in 1970, Dodge joined the competition with the Challenger, which was another muscle car that rivaled the Mustang in terms of size and performance. In Europe, the success of American muscle cars like the Mustang inspired manufacturers like Ford of Europe to introduce performance variants of their own. The Ford Capri, for example, was marketed as the European Mustang when it debuted in 1969. The Capri was designed with a similar formula of affordable performance, and it became one of Europe's most iconic cars of the era. In Japan, the muscle car craze spurred the development of high-performance variants from brands like Toyota and Nissan. While the Japanese muscle car scene was different in design and power, the influence of the Mustang's performance-oriented culture can be seen in cars like the Nissan Skyline and the Toyota Celica. The Ford Mustang's influence on the automotive industry is undeniable. It helped create an entire class of vehicles known as pony cars, which are compact, performance-oriented vehicles. The Mustang's success proved that a car could be both affordable and high performance, a formula that influenced the design of many future models across various segments. Through the years, the Mustang has continued to represent American automotive ingenuity, with numerous updates and special editions, ensuring that its legacy endures. The introduction of new technologies, such as turbocharged engines and advanced safety features, has kept the Mustang relevant in the modern era while still paying homage to its classic roots. Even as other car manufacturers have embraced electronic powertrains, the Mustang has maintained its identity as a performance icon, including the introduction of the Mustang Mach-E, an electric SUV that brings a Mustang spirit into the future. The Mustang's continued popularity can be attributed to its ability to evolve with the times, while retaining the elements that made it great. From the 1960s models to modern-day iterations, the Mustang has undergone significant updates, each bringing new features and design elements that cater to changing consumer preferences. Moreover, the Mustang's constant appeal is due to its collector status. Classic Mustangs from the 1960s, particularly models like the Boss 302, Shelby GT350, and the GT500, have become highly sought after by collectors and automotive enthusiasts. The combination of their performance history, limited production runs, and unique styling has made them prized possessions in the collector car world. As a result, the Mustang continues to hold a special place in both the hearts of the car enthusiasts and the history of American automotive engineering. The Ford Mustang has not only remained a cultural icon, but has also shaped the way we think about performance, style, and innovation in the automotive industry, ensuring its legacy endures for generations to come.